What we have before us is the basic setup of this particular DEA analysis. What you'll see is that we have decision-making units similar to what you saw in the previous slide, and basically we are deriving these inputs from tabs we have in this particular workbook. So this particular worksheet has, up at the top here, it says inputs with the exclamation mark. That means that that location of this data is in the inputs section under H3. So if we go to the inputs section, under H3, you will see that the value there is 35, which is the sum of all of these, which allows the individual departments within the DMU to be able to make decisions on what their input's going to be. So across the top in row 2, you will see that we have engineering department, management, quality, procurement, and sales. This allows for all of their inputs to the individual DMU sections, which is internal, China, India, and Brazil. And this value H3 you see here in total staff corresponds to the same value of 35 that you see here. In making this chart, we utilized those tabs in the input section and output sections, and the resultants are down at the bottom here. As we look at these sections, we have the comparison units, in other words, what we're going to compare the values to, and in coming up with these values, we use the sum product function. And let's go up a little bit higher here. Here we go. So in B25, you see the sum product of B11 through E11, and it is multiplied and added to the values in B21 through E21. Now you will see the values in B21 and E21 have the dollar signs in front of them. That means that those values will not be changed and will always be compared back to that value. So if you're doing a drag function within Excel, those values would stay the same, and you can easily change the other values as you would see below, and it makes your setting up of your project a little bit easier. So as we go to the brand recognition, which is the scale function, you'll see B12 through E12 up at the top in the function bar, but you'll see B21 and E21 stayed the same, and that's because they hold those values. Okay, so going up top, you will see what we took here, B12 through E12 is basically this row right here, and your sum product of this row right here all the way through with your weighted efficiency values right here for the particular DMUs, and obviously the end value is your efficiency number. Now, if we were to run running an efficiency solving utility, we would actually want to look at each individual unit as it's prescribed here. This particular one is solver is showing that your internal, in other words your US, is efficient. That's why you have the value 1. If we were to change to the Brazil one, looking at its efficiency, we would simply go in here and change this value from B, which was the internal, to E. So all the values for this would have to be changed, and we're going to go ahead and do that now. Shift to the E value and hit enter, and then we're going to change all of these values all the way down for the outputs, and let's do the same for this one, which is the inputs. Hit enter, and we can go back and do the same for all that. Now this is the significance of this is because of the dollar signs, we're only changing just the single value. All the compares or the multiplier actually stays the same because of the signs. Now if we go to data and solver, we will see that the solver gives us a solution that shows Brazil is inefficient. And as you look at the value for efficiency right here, hit OK. For efficiency right here, you see 92%. So Brazil is 92% efficient compared to the US. or in this case, the eternal. In order to set up the solver, what we basically put in here, I'm going to move this over so that we can see it, and then scroll down. Let's see what we can do right here. So as we pull out just a little bit here, I don't know if everybody can see those values, but basically what we have in the solver, it tells us that we are going to solve for the efficiency numbers in the optimal solution row. We're going to set our target for the efficiency value in J23. We are going to compare columns in the comparison unit to the tested unit, and thus we get our solved efficiency that, in this particular case, Brazil isn't very efficient.